Good morning, Mr. Frans Brits, Mr. Johan Holthausen, members of CA Sales and PSG Capital, 4AX Chairperson, directors and stakeholders, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for taking the time to join us this morning and celebrating with us yet another milestone in the 4Africa Exchange journey. Economies the world over are, it seems, in a state of serious and constant flux. The ripple effects of the 2008-09 Western financial crisis continue to be felt worldwide, where in recent years we have seen a slowdown in countries that are key trade markets for economies across Africa, including the US and several European countries. China, on the other hand, remains quite bullish about its investments into Africa, particularly in major infrastructure and resource-focused projects through government-to-government partnerships. However, the slowdown in China's economy lowered demand with the commodity price downswing also leads to further trade and economic growth strains on many of these economies. Amid the strong influence of fragility in the world economy, coupled with a continued uncertainty in global oil and commodity prices, this has highlighted two things. Firstly, that there has never been a more critical time now than to drive the intra-Africa agenda through innovative and collaborative solutions towards a common goal of inclusive growth and prosperity. And secondly, the resilience of the people in Africa, as the continent has already begun to rapidly turn to other areas that will support ongoing economic growth, where the fast-moving consumer goods industry is one such sector. Certainly, current poverty levels across sub-Saharan Africa are still quite high, where food and necessities still dominate consumer spending. However, forecasts by the World Bank anticipate Africa's GDP to increase to an average of 4.8% in 2017-18, and that a significant portion of this increase will be driven by private consumption. A study by McKinsey supports this and cites an emerging optimistic consumer class, where more than half of African households are projected to have a discretionary income by 2020. With a market potential of 1.2 billion consumers, where the population is expected to double by 2050, and a burgeoning middle class with more flexible income and growing spending power, there's no denying the immense opportunities that exist on the continent for a more prosperous FMCG sector today and in the future. And this is what today's celebration is about: acknowledging the opportunities that exist for African solutions to the African context, and those who are driving inter-African trade and an investment agenda that will aid in shifting the balance towards transformative and inclusive growth in our regional markets and economies. Today, we therefore commemorate the first FMCG company to list on 4Africa Exchange. It is with this in mind that I would like to introduce Mr. Frans Brits, CEO of CA Sales Holding, who would like to share a few words with us on their journey. Frans?
As you mentioned, we do operate in Africa. We see it as an extremely exciting space to be in. A lot of South African companies shy away from Africa, most probably the uncertainty, the regulatory environment, and they don't know what's happening there. And it's an ever-changing environment. We've been at it now for a long period of time. Our management team's got over 20 years of experience operating in Africa. So it's been a very exciting journey for CA Sales. We started just short of 6 years ago. We've acquired over 15 companies. Our turnover is over 8 billion rand, and we employ almost 8,000 people. So you can see it's a formidable group of companies. I think listing on the 4Africa Exchange just elevates it to the next level. It gives us the credibility that we require and that we need, and then also the recognition for building up this company over the period of time. Of course, more importantly, it also provides us a platform for future growth. I mean, we're far from finished. I mean, we've got the whole East Africa, the whole West Africa still to enter into. And I think the 4Africa Exchange is the ideal platform for us. Some companies get lost on some of the other exchanges because they're so big, especially if you're not one of the top 40 companies. So I believe the exposure we will get from 4Africa Exchange will be great for us as a business. It's also something different for investors. There's not too many other companies listed on the JSE that can say that invested or they operate in 8 African countries. A lot of them might have 1 or 2. We know Shoprite has got the big retailers that can pump billions of rands into a business. That's not our operations. We buy well-established companies operating in Africa. We empower the local people, and through that we're able to grow our business significantly over a period of time. Unfortunately, action for us speaks louder than words, so I'm not going to take the full 10 minutes. So keep watching the business, look at our results, and I think you might be pleasantly surprised going forward. And thank you very much for attending. I know we will be all busy. Thank you for coming, and enjoy the rest of the day.
As one of only 2 exchanges in South Africa with a full license to trade across asset classes, we aim to become a preferred alternative exchange for Africa's best companies, leaders and innovators. Having a second operational stock exchange in the country creates a platform from which to increase the liquidity and financial inflows within different segments of not only the South African economy, but those on our inward issuer listings as well. We started this journey with aspirations and the goal to provide a solution to Africans. Our journey has required others to take a leap of faith and buy into a vision. Thank you, CA Sales Holding and PSG Capital. We are very proud of this listing, and it speaks directly to our long-term vision of being an exchange for Africa, by creating access to diverse sectors and markets that will promulgate more inclusive growth and prosperity across the continent. We would like to thank you for buying into this Forex vision as a platform for growth for your organizations, your shareholders, and the communities you serve. Frans and Johan, if you could just join me up here with Anthony. We would like to hand over membership certificates as you join the equity markets of 4Africa Exchange today. Frans, Johan, to mark this occasion, 4Africa Exchange has purchased CA Sales Holdings a bright star in the sky, named after your company in the Phoenix Galaxy. Each time you look upon the African sky and its stars, wherever you may find yourselves, may you always be reminded of the billions more lives in Africa that will be touched by your operations. We thank you again for your belief in our vision and our platform, and we look forward to realizing our joint goals for prosperity and driving sustainable economic development that will build a nation for future generations. And with that, I'd like to hand over to our marimba band as we prepare for opening the market and hand out champagne as well. Thank you.
We decided to try something different, and for that reason it's 4Africa Exchange. I think it's an innovative concept. It's not as onerous as the JSE requirements, and yeah, as I say, we always try something different. Yeah. We've been building up CA Sales Holdings now for over the last 6 years. It has grown a lot quicker than we thought originally. We operate in 8 countries in Southern Africa. We've got a turnover over 4 billion rand now. We employ almost 8,000 people. I think listing the business will just give it a lot more credibility and sustainability. This is also just the beginning of the road, so we are planning to expand further into Africa, into different markets, and it will give us the ability to raise further funds, and we're sure that the 4Africa Exchange will play a vital role in raising those money and that capital from investors. I also think it's a nice investment opportunity for investors. There's not too many businesses listed on other exchanges that do operate in 8 African countries, so that is a unique opportunity almost for investors.
Good morning. My name is Ernest Jurett. I'm the Head of Client Relationship Management at Societe Generale Johannesburg. We act as the custodian for 4AX, and we're very excited about the relationship. We're also very excited about the new listings coming on board. It's been long overdue. It's 137 years since we've seen the last exchange being developed, so it's definitely new ground. We like the fact about the new technology, the fact that we can move to a shorter settlement cycle in a very short time, and also for the growth opportunities for Africa and for the market as well. It's very exciting news for our international clients, also for our local clients, to have a different option within the market. And we wish 4AX all the best of success. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me here today, and I think it's a great achievement for 4AX to actually hit the ground running. I think it's long overdue for some competition in this space. I believe that it will open up the market for a lot of companies that might not have otherwise have gained access to the market and market capital. So what's also important for this is that there must be trust in a process like this and a system like this. Financial reporting is of utmost importance, and the auditor's role and those charged with governance role in a new exchange is of pivotal importance to give that trust to the market and to get capital in, and that's what it's about, to build a country.
Yeah, no, I think it's a fantastic journey that you've undertaken, and I think you started it well. And today is testimony of the fact that you have really gone a long way in a short period of time. You've got the momentum, and I think there's always a place for a very good alternative in South Africa, and that I think you've done. And from PSG Capital perspective, obviously we would like to be part of that journey. Yeah, I think it's an important milestone or step in their life. They've progressed wonderfully well. They've got a fantastic footprint in Africa, and obviously South Africa is a good choice to be listed and to get in front of the crowd.
The listing, we found it quite interesting. It offers the second opportunity, obviously in line with the other exchange, for us to be able to invest and grow different businesses that we have. It represents, I think, one of the biggest and largest opportunity. It's probably untapped, but there's a big opportunity in Africa to grow, and we see Africa as the next sort of gold mine in what we're doing.
My name is Justin Brasher. I'm the client manager from Dimension Data. We've been with 4AX and Faye and the team for about 2 years now, really building from the very beginning. And my sense is that it's a lot of excitement. You know, I'm very, very excited about what's happening. I mean, it's been a few weeks and we're already on to our second issuer, and things are happening. It's watch this space for Africa.
I think as the youth of today, with information sharing, we are able to see how the 4Africa exchange works from a closeness perspective, so it doesn't seem so scary, and that we are able to participate and engage in the exchange and see what we can do and where we can develop as a country and as the youth of tomorrow.